I exhaled sharply as I lowered the revolver from my temple. This day marks the 5th anniversary of Nadia's disappearance. It's hard to believe it's been that long. We had so much time left, so much life to live together. But that all came to a screeching halt half a decade ago, the day that we found those stairs. Now that it's determined that I have at least one more trip around the sun, I'll let you know how I ended up here at rock bottom. I need to get this out while I still have the guts to tell the story. Don't know why though. I'm going to wake up sometime tomorrow afternoon with a massive headache and no recollection of tonight's events. I'd better tell you when I still can. I have lived on the outskirts of Bear Creek National Park for my entire life. Don't bother looking it up. It's a fake name, so nobody tries to seek out the evil that lurks here. It's safer that way. As I was saying, I used to live out here in a cabin with my dad. I miss him so much. He passed away 8 years ago, leaving me all alone. Cancer really is a bitch. That was before Nadia and I started dating. It's funny how things work out. I actually met her at a coffee shop on my way back from visiting Dad's grave. When she approached me and asked if the seat across me was taken, I was instantly smitten. She had deep blue eyes that shimmered like the ocean. Long brown hair cascaded down her shoulders in waves. And that smile. When Nadia smiled, it was as if time stopped, just for a moment, so that the whole world could soak in its breathtaking beauty. That was before Nadia and I started dating. It's funny how things work out. I actually met her at a coffee shop on my way back from visiting Dad's grave. When she approached me and asked if the seat across me was taken, I was instantly smitten. Her deep blue eyes shimmered like the ocean. Long brown hair cascaded down her shoulders in waves. And that smile. When Nadia would smile, it was as if time stopped, just for a moment, so that the world could soak in its breathtaking beauty. We were inseparable after that day. In just a month we were dating, and in 9 more we were living together in my cabin, and in another year we were set off to get married. I had a date and a venue picked out and everything. I was on cloud 9. But all of that was torn from me in an instant. I really wish I would never have taken her out there. I had my first encounter with the stairs when I was 7. Dad had always warned me never to climb them. But that wasn't a problem for me, though. The stairs exuded a malevolent presence. Like anyone who dared to walk up their steps would be eaten alive from fear alone. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was playing in the woods near the cabin when I saw it. A black, winding set of metal stairs that stretched maybe a story. They didn't lead anywhere, they just kind of ended. All the stairs are like that. They vary in size and shape and model, but the one thing they all have in common is that they don't lead anywhere. And they are never in the same place twice. They just sort of materialize. Nobody really knows how or why, and truthfully, we don't want to know. Most of us, that is. Nadia did want to know, and that knowledge cost her everything.
Come on, baby, just a little further. I want to see the sunset.
Nadia whined in protest to my proposal to head back.
Nadia, I know you do.
But we didn't bring flashlights and our phone batteries aren't worth a crap. I don't know about you, but I don't feel like smacking into trees every few feet on our way home.
Oh, fine, you win. I'll go back this time. But promise me we can come back tomorrow,
she requested, puffing out her lower lip and gazing up at me with her best puppy dog eyes. I'd be lying if I said they didn't work. Alright, I'll take you back out here tomorrow, but only if you... Nah. I trailed off, entranced by the sight of them. Nadia's brows knitted together in confusion as she traced my gaze. Then her jaw fell open. Directly before us stood a polished cedarwood staircase. I got a sinking feeling in my gut the moment I laid eyes on that thing. It looked so out of place, like a rat in a fish tank.
What is that thing?
Nadia muttered, gaze still fixed to it. It's nothing, I'll tell you later, I said, snatching her hand and leading her in the opposite direction.
Ow, Jason, let go. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Tell me what's going on or I'm not moving another inch,
Nadia protested, crossing her arms defiantly. I sighed. There was no point in hiding it any longer. She was going to find out eventually, I guess.
Okay, so this is going to sound completely unhinged, but please bear with me. Ever since I've lived here, or ever since anyone's lived here really, people have been finding random staircases in the forest. They appear and disappear all the time, and you'll never find one in the same place twice. The stairs are some kind of bad omen. Something awful happens if you climb to the top, but no one quite knows what. All I know for certain is we need to stay far away from them, okay? Nadia rolled her eyes in response. Come on, Jay, do you really expect me to believe that? A bad omen? Are you some kind of spiritual medium now? Oh, a staircase. So scary, she said, waving her hands in a mocking gesture. Nadia, do I look like I'm joking? I know it sounds crazy, but I wouldn't lie to you. She softly took my hands into hers and met my gaze. Baby, you know I wouldn't accuse you of that. It's strange, but if it really irks you that much, I won't press it, okay? Thank you. Now, let's go home, I'm starving. Once we were out of sight of that wretched thing, I could sense the tension starting to disperse. It was as if a veil had been lifted. I fell asleep that night with a stomach full of dumplings and not a thought in the world besides the petite girl slugged in my arms. The stairs had vanished from my brain, just like they will always do. Well, until the next day. We both had the entire day off, and before I knew it, Nadia was pulling me back down the same path as the day prior. Butterflies danced in my stomach as we approached the spot we'd seen the stairs the day before. Even so, Nadia noticed it first. Hey, isn't this the same place you pulled me away from yesterday? Those stairs, they're actually gone. See, I told you they're a bad omen. Now do you believe me? I never said I didn't. It's just a strange phenomena, you know? Like seeing a unicorn. You don't really ever expect to find it, or in this case, not find it. It's a lot to process. I didn't really know what to say to this. She had hit the nail on the head with her analysis, except the staircase was, though unicorn, no, they were something far more sinister. We continued our walk in silence until we finally reached our destination. That evening will always stand out in my mind. The sky looked like a painter's canvas, a gorgeous blend of purple and pink and orange melded together behind a smattering of light, wispy clouds as well. I'd never seen anything so perfect. We stayed there well past the sunset, staring up into a sea of stars illuminating the sky. Thank you for keeping your promise. Today was perfect, Nadia yawned, sleepily resting her shoulders. Well, thank you for dragging me out of the house. This really was incredible. I love you so much. You're welcome, bonehead. I love you too. Nadia giggled quietly, her eyes struggling to stay open. Okay, I think it's time for us to go back. You can hardly stay awake. Just a little longer, you're so comfy, she protested. Alright, up we go, I said, hoisting my weary girlfriend into my arms. If your legs won't move, I have no choice but to carry you. Oh no, how terrible, whatever shall I do? She quipped, her arms around my neck. Nothing, just stay still and let me. I froze mid-stride. I swallowed a dry lump in my throat as sweat began to bed atop of my brow. In the darkness along with a bunch of foliage, my flashlight beam fell upon a very large, bulky object. They were back. Jason, what's wrong? You look pale, Nadia said, following the ray of light until she realized what I was looking at. A wide set of weathered, concrete-looking steps ascended to nowhere. They called to me, begging me to climb them. Just one step, just one, that's all. It was all that I could think. Jason, I feel it now. What you were talking about yesterday. I feel it. It's all wrong. They shouldn't be here. Nadia whimpered, fear jolting across her pupils. Yeah, you're right, I said, ripping my gaze from that awful thing. Just don't look at it, we're going to be okay. This time I wasn't as relieved as we'd escaped the staircase alluring pull. I had never seen the stairs 2 days straight before. They were always more sporadic in their appearance, never showing up with any rhythm or consistency, so to actually see them twice made me uneasy. Nadia and I didn't mention the stairs again that evening. We were both absolutely exhausted, and we were itching to get some much-needed rest. I'd be damned if I was going to let a stupid staircase ruin a good night's sleep. Nadia was already snoring when I joined her in bed, and I myself was out the second my head hit the pillow. If only we could have made it until the morning. Maybe she would have still been here. I awoke in a pitch-black room. Nadia wasn't there. I wasn't worried at first. It wasn't really abnormal for her to sneak off to the bathroom in the middle of the night every once in a while. I didn't want to drift back off until I had her beside me though. I waited and waited to no avail. Then, after what felt like an eternity, I finally called out, "Hey Nadia, are you coming back?" But I didn't receive no response, and suddenly panic set in. Nadia would never ignore me like that. I leaped out of bed and rushed to the bathroom. It was empty. Suddenly my heart began to pound against my ribcage like a jackhammer. Sirens were blaring in my head, telling me that something was wrong, and I felt helpless to silence them. I turned the whole cabin inside out with no result. Nadia really was nowhere to find. Then, amongst all the chaos, an idea flickered in my head. Why hadn't I thought of it sooner? Nadia's phone was missing from the bedside table, but I could track her location on Find My Friends. I fumbled to unlock my own phone, and fumbled to open the app as well. I had to know that she was okay. I loaded up the app and located Nadia's icon. She was close. The app said she was only a few 100 feet away from the cabin. I threw on a pair of shorts and darted out into the frigid night air. I raced barefoot across leaves and rocks and acorns. I didn't have time to grab shoes. Right then, I didn't care if my feet were torn to ribbons as long as Nadia was okay. I eventually reached the point where her phone should have been. I frantically called it, praying that she would pick up this time. I saw something illuminate amongst the leaves, and not far beyond it I found who I was searching for. But instead of being overcome by joy, my blood turned into ice. Nadia's face was partially illuminated by the moonlight. She was gazing down at me with tears streaming down her face. Below her feet sat a staircase. This time it was ornate. White, glassy marble stairs gleamed even in the darkness, topped off with a pristine red carpet. The stairs looked as if they would lead straight to heaven itself, and that terrified me. Dread crashed over me like a tidal wave as we stared at each other. I wanted to move. I wanted to sprint up to her and sweep her off those god-forsaken things. But I couldn't. I was rooted in the place, forced to watch as the girl of my dreams ascended to the final step. "Jason, please, I don't want to go. I had to know. I could feel them calling to me. Please don't let them take me." Nadia sobbed uncontrollably, reaching out a hand toward me. I wanted to grab it, to pull her into my arms, to tell her that everything was going to be okay. But I was stuck. I was forced to watch in abject horror as Nadia involuntarily took the one last step to the top. It felt as if time had slowed to a crawl. 1 second I was paralyzed, eyes locked on Nadia and those vile stairs, and the next I was all alone. Nadia and the staircase had vanished, whisked into the cool night air like they'd never existed at all. The burden of that night will stay with me until I die. I wailed, I screamed, I pounded the earth until my thirsts were bloody and my throat was hoarse. Nadia had been taken from me, right before my very eyes, and I did absolutely nothing. I blamed myself for a long time after that. Hell, I still do.
I don't think I'll ever be able to move on. That's my punishment, I suppose. Living out a dull, meaningless life while images of my lost girlfriend run through my head in the day. It's the sole reason why I drink. Strangely enough, I've never seen the stairs again. They're really the only reason that I'm still here. Because maybe if I just give in, maybe if I convince myself to climb that one last looming step, then there might be a chance that I'll be reunited with Nadia. And for me, that's a chance I have to take.